Hmm. So let's start. One is principle of transmissibility. Okay. So you can write. So in principle of transmissibility, what is the meaning of that? See, you in the previous lecture, I have told you what is the meaning of the free vector and what is the meaning of the space vector, right? Means the position vector or space vector. Based on that, I have already give you that if any body is there, if you apply a force here, then this force we can write also in such a way that in this direction na? Suppose this is your force, we can write the same thing here also na? Here, this is only applicable for when the body is rigid, we consider, and the line of action of that force and the magnitude of that force are equal, then we can write this as the this is the uh, principle for finding out the moment. Okay, so we have to find out, means what we have to do, see, consider a force F which applied at a point. Okay, and take this one is your origin, this is your y, this is your x, wait, this is your x, sorry, this is your z, and take a point, this is your a, and consider a force vector which is applied at point A. Okay. Now, if you draw the force vector in such a manner which is applied at point A, hmm, now the moment which is created by that force vector F about the point O, what is that? About the point O, if you want to find out the force vector, what is that? With respect to this, simply you can write that is m. So what, uh, if you write the moment which is nothing but the r cross f. So here, what is the meaning of r? Suppose you have an in this, along this line of action, along this line of action, this is the straight line, consider another point B and take this one is your position vector. Student, wait 1 minute actually. Yes. So what happened? With respect to point O, if you take the moment, then it will come as the r cross f vector, and that f vector I am talking about, that the line of action, that f vector is the along the AB path, right? So if it is along the AB path, then means if you want, if this along this line of action another point is there, for example, and if the position vector, that is RC, and this one is RB, this one is RA. Then you can write the position vector for RB is equal to the RC cross F. You can write this one. Okay, means we can extend that one. So it is seen that F has a property of a vector which can slide from this position to this one. So we can say this F here is a sliding vector. Okay, means it does not depends on the position. At any position it can slide over there along the line of action, and therefore this act and therefore this act at any point along the time of action, and still it create the same moment. Understand? See, this is the line of action. If you say this dotted line, and if you consider the 3 points are there, and if the line of action of this point is this, for to find out the moment, you can find the same moment for RB transmissibility. Okay, this concept is clear. Principle of transmissibility.
One second, sir.
Hello. See, in your 3D coordinate system, na, this is a coordinate system. Here, suppose you already know na, that one type of vector is the position vector, which define the position of any point or any object of any body, right? So here we have taken, suppose this is one object or point, this is another point, this is another point, and if you means just connect all these points in a single line na? Suppose this is your single line, and on this single line there have the three different points, three different location. With respect to origin, you can easily find out the position vector. Position vector means what? R of OB, for example, means for this one. So R of OB means RB minus RO. As this is RO is 0, so I have written this RB here directly. So what happened? The RB cross F is also a vector. So RB cross F, we get the moment. Now you can see, though these position are different, na? B, the location of A, location of B, location of C, these are the different. But though this force is acted here, and due to that, the amount of generated moment, that is the magnitude of that, are always same. So that's why it is called the principle of transmissibility. Though the force acted on the force is at a different point, nevertheless they have a same line of action, and with respect to any moment, with respect to any coordinate you have to find, or origin you have to find the moment, so that moment is always equal. Okay, this is happen only as the any acted force, means the force vector is always a sliding vector, means it can slide, it cannot change the moment. Okay, now it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Now it is clear, right? Any confusion is there in this? Hello, please say something.
No, sir.
Okay, now next one is similar, means based on the transmissibility we can write I think I already told you about this. That is mm, Varignan theorem. Okay, so what happened in Varignan theorem? It states that it it states that the moment, write yourself, it states that the moment of a force, okay, the moment of a force about a point is equals to the sum of the moments of the force vector, or we can say the force component. Also we can say the force component about that point, so what does this means? See, what I have written, that the amount of moment of a force about a point is equals to, suppose this is your body, and you have applied a force here. So, and you have to find out the moment with respect to this point. So this one your position vector, right? If we write it ra, for example, so it states that the moment of a force m ra cross f about a point is equals to the sum of the moments. We can means, if we, this is one system, right? This is one system. If we just draw a equivalent system of this, if we write that this is your position vector, okay, this is the point. If you say this is b, so if you say this is b, and if this here at that point, if you apply three or four forces, for example f1 f2 f3, these are the vector, right? Force vector. If you apply, and if, see, if what happened, vector is equals to summation of these three vector, okay, then we can say the moment is also equal. Understand? Means, see, for this system, this is if you say this is a system 1, and if you say this is a system 2, then the force which is acted at point b, and due to that the amount of resultant moment created with respect to o, the this one, okay, this one should be equal to moment of O is equal to, if we write RA cross F1 plus RA cross F2 plus RA cross F3. This will give you the same result. This one and this one are equal. Anyone have any confusion here? The condition is for this is only if that f vector is equals to the summation of all other vector. Anyone have any confusion? Please ask now.
No, sir.
It is clear, right? Okay. Next one is so in the similar manner, I think you all know about that the moment of a couple, huh? in the previous lecture, I think previous lecture I have discussed about that what is the with respect to any point what is the moment, and as well as the with respect to any coordinate what is the moment, na? Just multiplied with that unit vector, right? I have discussed this thing. So now let's start some theoretical concept and just recapitulation of your friction. Is it okay? Or I have to discuss different thing? What you want? Please tell me. Please tell me. Hello. Please tell me that what you want. Otherwise, I just continue regarding the friction. What you want, you can tell me. No
Continue, sir.
issue. Okay.
Continue, sir.
Okay. So, in the friction part, what we can say that hmm. So in friction, we have the I have already discussed about the different condition, right? So if means this type of thing will maybe different conditions, means find out for which case, if it is asked like that, find out for which case there is a no friction. So you have to draw this type of thing. Suppose this is your body. If it is said like that, at which case we can say there is a no friction. The case is if it is the weight of that body, and if you apply a force, for example here, and you can easily get the reaction, that is we can say normally normal. So that is nothing but the P plus W, right? And if this is the case, here you can see there is a no sliding of this body with respect to the surface, right? So we can say if on a body these type of forces perpendicular to the surface is acted, then we can say this is the no friction condition. Okay, this is the no friction condition. Now another case, if we write, okay, before that I think you all know na, that is what is the difference between the sliding friction and what is the difference between the kinematic friction, or we can say static friction and the kinematic friction. Static friction, this I have already discussed now when I taught you about the friction class I have taken. So there I can show you that the force, and this one is the coefficient of friction. So what happened, when you increase the force, your coefficient of friction also increases, and after if you apply a more force, then it will again in the downward direction. So this one indicates your sorry, this should be F and this should be this one. When you increase the force, then your coefficient of friction also increase, and you can see here you get the coefficient of friction is maximum, that is called the static coefficient of friction. Okay, now something, what is the problem? This one your maximum coefficient of friction in case of static. See, this will increase, and after certain applied load, if you increase the load more than that point, then you can get the again your coefficient of friction is in the decreasing order. So in such case, means from this position to this from here or here onwards, we have to use the kinematic coefficient of friction. Okay, why this is kind why mu k? Because here the coefficient of friction is already less. Now if in the question, if it is written that at which condition we can say that there is a no motion, you can write it as a case 2. So the condition is such that suppose this is your body, and if its own weight is there and you have applied a force here, for example, okay, p, for example, you applied a force. Now the condition of no motion, the condition of no motion is that it should be, if there have the normal, there is a reaction, and that is nothing but your this force, if we resolute into two component, py px, so that should be py plus w, right? That is the n. And your if here na, as these are the surfaces there, it means they have the friction, so we can write the free body diagram like this, right? This is your friction force, this is your normal, this one its own weight, and this is your p, this is your py and px. So we can write the summation of fx is equal to 0 if it is, this is the summation of fy. Based on this we can write f, sorry, px is equal to f, right? And px is what? Px is you applied a load here in this point, so that should be overcome the static friction. For no motion condition means what? No motion condition means this portion na? This position is the no motion, means due to this applied force up to this range there is a no motion of that body. So what does that means? That means px is equal to mu s, because it is a not in motion, so this is static, into the coefficient of friction into the normal. So for this case we can write that px is equal to mu s into n, when now when that is a no motion condition. So we can write instead of px, f is equal to mu s into n. So what should be the case? The no motion case should be the friction, it should be always more than that mu s into n, so that the body cannot move, means no motion. Understand? See, case 1 is the no motion, for which case when you applied a force perpendicular to the surface, so there is a no point of generation of friction here na. If we draw the free body, you can see here one load is here, one load is here, and another reaction is here. So there is a no friction force, right, on that, on this body. But here you can see, as you apply this p at a certain angle, so that they have a horizontal component, and due to this horizontal component this body try to move, but as it is attached with a surface, it is rest on the surface, so that they have a frictional resistive force, and that is equal normally if it is, this is the uh, we can say impending motion condition. Next top means case 3 I will show you. So now if your body if you do not want to move your body, it means whatever the px is there, that should be always less than the frictional force. So this is the condition of no motion. Now see, this is the case 3. So case 3 is what? Now impending motion. So in impending motion, what happened? Only this one, this condition have to satisfied. Means Px there should be F. Okay, we can write this F as a M. Means impending motion condition. What should be the force? Okay, or we can say this is the maximum static force. That's why I have written this one as a F M. Okay, so it means here Fm is equal to mu s into n. This is the condition for the impending motion. Now see what is the difference between the if the body in motion and if the body in rest or no motion condition. What is the difference? The difference is here this is mu s you have taken. Now consider if a body is there and it is rest on a surface and you applied a force on this body, there is a weight, and due to this normal, if you draw the free body you can get that is this is your normal, this is your w, this is your p, it is in the py px, and in this surface there is a frictional force. Now can anyone tell me if this frictional force is there, then what is the value? Means what we have write, which mu is there, which mu, that is it means the case is if we take it is a 4 means motion. In motion case, can you tell me which type of coefficient of friction is there, static or kinetic? Which one?
Kinetic.
Which one? Please tell me which one.
Static, sir.
No, if it is in the motion, if it is in the motion, always remember this mu
Kinetic.
always a kinetic. Okay, you have to remember this when the body, if in the that is the actually people normally doing the wrong thing, that if they calculate based if any numerical problem in coming exam and if they are said finding out the coefficient of friction or finding out the frictional force means if in the case of body is in motion, always multiply the normal with the kinetic coefficient of friction, not the static. If here if you retain F is equal to mu s into n, that is completely wrong. Remember. Here up to this is your maximum case, that is the mu s, and after that means if you apply a force on a object which is on already in the rest condition up to a certain applied load, that body is in the rest position, but after that that body again in the moving condition, right? So in that case your coefficient of friction is again less, and always remember mu s is always higher than the mu k. Always remember that is the static coefficient of friction is always higher than the kinetic coefficient of friction. Force, always remember that is always mu k into n. Okay, now come another thing, that is I repeat one thing, or try to clear your concept, otherwise in exam you may face problem. So please clear your concept. If you have any query you can ask, but for that first you have to go through what the notes I have given to all of you. Please just go through that one. See, angle of friction is what? Can anybody tell me what is the angle of friction? Can anybody tell me? Can anyone tell me? See, the angle of friction is what? Angle of friction is, you already know that what is the frictional force, right? You already know how to find out the normal. Normal means any load is there and its own weight, right? This thing. Now the question is, if a body is like that, na, you have, we have drawn the n, we have drawn the f. So if this is a sliding vector, na, so we can write this one like this. So this is your the, what happened, so this is your the resultant force, right? And the angle which is generated with this resultant with the normal, that is your the angle of friction. Okay, now the case is, what happen if, means this one we can write in the simple term, that is tan phi is equals to mu k. Okay, and that mu k, what, as you know this is the case, so mu k is nothing but your, sorry, nothing but your f by n. So in this diagram you can easily find out that if this is your, if this is your frictional force vector, this is your normal, you can easily draw this resultant, or can say the angle between the resultant and the normal, okay, from this velocity triangle. So now there have a, here also the same conditions are same. Suppose you have to find out the, means you have to find out the angle of friction in the case of when the motion is impending. So in that case what you have to do, f, which is maximum, impending is maximum, and divided by the normal in that case. So you, in that condition we can write phi is equal to phi s. Okay, so in such a manner if we write phi is equal to 0, it means what? It means the r resultant and n are equal, right? Suppose this phi is 0, so what happened, r and n are equal. And if phi is less than phi s, so we can write there is a no motion. Means your, if you draw a diagram of friction and force, means your body within this range, right? Means that is not move, though the force is applied on that body, but till now that body is not in the moving condition. Now if you write that phi greater than phi s, then that is your impending motion condition. Okay, and if, see here also the same thing of coefficient of friction, if this phi is equal to phi k, then that is called the motion condition. And always remember, phi s is always higher than the phi k. Okay, and similar to as I already discussed that mu s is always higher than mu k. Remember this term, what this is called, the angle of friction for static case, angle of friction when the body is in motion, that is the kinetic case. Okay, or sometime means when the block, means this is a condition, impending motion condition. Sometime we can say that the block is in the impending motion, means where I have written impending motion condition, this one, fm is equal to mu sn is equal to p, right? So if this is the condition, then the angle of the the angle between the resultant and the normal, that is also some kind, sometimes called as a angle of repose. Okay, so this is also called the angle of repose for which condition, when that phi is equal to phi s, means this condition. Clear? Means we can say that the angle of repose is equals to the angle of static friction in that is the condition in that condition the body start to move or impend, so that is called the impending motion condition. Means they just start from the static to kinetic. Okay, so up to this anyone have any question? Please clear your concept, and because in exam when the friction problem or any static problem will come based on your force or moment, so it will be, you may face the problem, so please clear your concept. Okay, so have you any question, please tell me. If anyone have question, otherwise I end my lecture here. Okay, thank you.